Hey, Nomus RC. I just wanted to do a quick review with you guys on the Umarex Steel Storm. I saw it on Amazon a little while ago, and it's a .177 BB gun. Shoots steel BBs is what I run through it. I mean, it is like $100. It's a little bit expensive for just something that I'm probably never going to actually be able to use much, but just something to play with. I did throw some paint on it. Default, it is black. I just used Krylon camo paint, which that stuff is amazing, by the way. It dries in 15 minutes and is handleable in 1 hour. So if you're like me and you're impatient as hell, you can just throw a quick coat on and be good to go. So, some notable things here. I mean, it is single fire and then it has a 6-round burst. Your cocking mechanism is back here. You do have to cock it before firing. Also note when the CO2s start getting low, the weapon will jam, but cocking this a couple of times will make it unjam. The only times that I've ever had this weapon jam are when the CO2 is low. So basically, if you get a jam, you kind of know it means your CO2 is low and you should probably discontinue firing at that point. Because literally every time that you fire, it will, a 6-round burst anyway, every time you do that, it will jam. So this is their clip. It's a built-in 30-round clip. You just pull this thing forward, and you lock it down into this groove, and then you take the weapon and you shake it like that and bring BBs down in. The BBs come from that little thing right there. It's a reservoir. Kind of cool thing to note with that reservoir. I took this gun apart, and there's actually just a little plastic wall in here that you have your compartment for your BBs, and it says it holds 300. There's a little plastic wall right here, and then there's plastic all through here as well. So I just cut that plastic out, and it probably holds 500-600 BBs now. So, I mean, what the hell, might as well. But the reason that I actually had to take the gun apart is because of this goddamn thing. So, this spring that they use in here is complete shit. I think the way that I have it, it's going to last. But you can even see it right there. You see how it's like kind of, the spring is like beat up looking and it's kind of bowed. Well, the more and more that you compress this spring, you know, by pushing this all the way down, it really starts getting janky in there. And you can see, look at that. Some spots are completely compressed and other spots aren't. And then some spots are starting to like bend and warp. The way that I have it, I don't have any problems with it currently. But I had to take it apart and I had to stretch the spring out and kind of rework the spring and then put it back in, because what happened was, after doing this literally like 3 or 4 times and loading a 30-round clip, this spring just completely wadded up and stopped, and it just locked up, and this thing here was just free moving from about here to here, and the spring was just stuck about right there. It was ridiculous. Anyway, after making that modification, I've not had any problems out of it. I've put probably 1,000 rounds through it since. This is your safety selector switch. That's on fire, and that's on safety. You have 2 releases for the CO2 container. That's actually pretty cool. It takes 2 CO2s, so you get a little bit extra, get some extra shots as opposed to just 1. This is kind of neat too. So inside of here you get the key that is used to tighten these CO2s down. And again, I recommend putting a drop of silicone on each of these before you put them into any weapon. Not just this one, just to keep the system lubricated and keep your seals in good condition. Because as long as you keep your seals in good condition, I mean, you really should not have any problems out of CO2 weapons. I've been using them since I was like freaking 10 years old or 12, something like that. I had my first CO2 weapon. And I mean, I've always had good luck. If as long as I keep them lubricated, I can leave a CO2 in it almost 24/7, as long as you keep that thing lubricated. Now, right now, these CO2s are not engaged because I got done firing the weapon and I just loaded 2 in just to have them there and ready. But anyway, nice little holder to carry this little key to do that. Notable as well, they give you an extra key in the packaging. It's a pretty cool looking gun. Looks like it resembles an MP9. All right, let's go outside and give it a fire. So the tip that they do put on these makes the weapon quite loud. We got 30 rounds loaded into the mag. Safety's off. I did already cock the back mechanism. Like I said, it's pretty loud. Here's full auto, or I'm sorry, 6-round burst. It's quite brutal. You know, it's a BB gun, and there's only so much that you can do with a BB gun. Airsoft, you can at least go and shoot people with it. But I will say, it is fun. That 6-round burst never gets old. Let's kick this over to single fire again, and let's chrono this and see what it's going at. Let's see what it's hitting. Looks like we're averaging about 380 FPS. $377, so not too bad. Alright guys, but that's my overall review of it. It was pretty, in my opinion, pretty plain looking when I first got it. Left a lot to be desired in the looks department. After a paint job, a red dot, and a foregrip on it, I think it's pretty friggin' sweet. And like I said, I opened the internal capacity of it to like 500 or 600 rounds. Once you sort out the spring issues, if you wind up having any, and most people that I see online did have spring issues, it's a pretty fun gun. Like I said, I've fired, I don't even know, 1,000 rounds, maybe close to 1,500 rounds through the machine so far, and it's been great. So that is my take on the Umarex Steel Storm.